Hello again. How are you?
Good.
Good, good. I'm sure she's clearing out the room or going back to her office, so we'll hang for a bit. Does your ALC, I mean, I don't know how long you've been in your role. Were you around for the last bold?
Yes. Yes, I've taken 4 or 5.
Okay, cool. Did they participate pretty well at the last one?
Yeah,
Because
our
that was
whole
kind of a mixed reaction. Okay.
the last one, our office, a majority of them
Okay,
participated.
cool. Awesome. Your video's gone in the training room. There you are. Hello again. Oh, you're muted.
Technology, it's your friend.
I know. I still have my pandemic sign.
I
Oh, yep, I was on mute. That's my kind of my
No, you're
MO.
good. You're good. You're good. So I was just talking with Shalisa. So she said last bold ALC participated at a high level. That felt like a mixed reaction. Was that just like what? How do you feel that went, and what did they say as they were leaving?
There was only just a couple of well, because Craig is the one that had expressed about missing the first one, and I told him that kind of the rule of thumb is if you're going to miss more than two, it's maybe not the right bold for you to take,
Yeah.
to participate in other trainings and opportunities. And so, yeah, and I think I don't know. It's just such a weird, I don't know, market. People's moods are just not where we would like them to be. Just kind of the energy level just seems to be down in general for some, I don't know, for whatever it is.
So yeah, and I mean, what a great fix that would be, right?
I know, I know.
So here's my ask of you, and I'm sure like I know what works and I know what doesn't, right? Like we should strike when the iron's hot. So my suggestion is get with your ALC today, and if it needs to be over text for time, like I don't know what your day looks like. I don't care what it is. Like maybe it's a group text where peer pressure comes in from the folks that are going to take it. Like they, we got to get them in the room if that's where they're at mentally.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. I promise I will never tell you how to run your market center or your business, and I will also always give you advice and attempt to be really honest because how could anybody help somebody without honesty? If the energy is down, if the moods are down, they're recruitable.
Mhm.
So my challenge to you, and by you I mean almost every leader right now, is just, and hear this with love, like we're in a time as leadership where we're going to have to start taking a stand for people, and we might be like the parent that is loves them but isn't their friend. I think that there's some people, and I don't know if it applies to your ALC or maybe it's some of them. Like I think there's a lot of the top producing agents in my market center need a very loving smack because they're not in a good place, and somebody needs to be honest enough to stop saying, oh, it's fine, and say, hey, no, let's fix this. Like, this is not fine. Your business is down. You're not on track for your goals. You don't seem like you're excited. Like, let's fix this. So my challenge to you is, in your way and in your style, like, I don't want to say get in their face, that's a little overly aggressive. Like, stand up for them, not to them, stand up for them. I think you'll find that you'll get good results. I can think of a couple of different bolds where I really fought with my leadership. I was like, I'm not going. And those were like my most impactful bolds. And that resulted in many apologies to leadership for me being a diva jerk agent, and so fight for them and really push that. I mean, if business is not where it used to be and moods aren't great, like again, growing that passive income, that's another big booster. So I would ask you to follow up with them today. And, if they're not excited, just you be excited. And if you're not excited, just pretend I don't care. Like they will follow the energy of their trusted leadership. And so just fight for them. And if there's anybody I should reach out to individually, I'm happy to do it. Just give me a little bit of context and let me know. How are things going otherwise? I don't know how much you've dove into one-on-one conversations. How are things going with the Bold launch?
So Katie just got all the stuff to bold out the market center.
Okay, love it.
Getting that going. She's got our wall that she does where she's got the pictures of everybody signed up.
Love,
there are a
love.
couple of members on that. And I said in the team meeting today that you're gonna start seeing a lot of bold stuff and bold conversations. So I just sort of, made that buyer beware statement at the team meeting this morning. The one thing
What was the reaction?
Kind of what you saw today.
Okay.
I mean, it's, it kind of like agents everywhere. They just won't make decisions until, last minute, which is frustrating. However, but one of the things I thought about doing is going back to the bold we did 2 years ago, because we had a really, Shalisa, do you remember how many people were in that?
We had almost 3/4 of our office there. It was
huge. And going back and pulling multi-year trends and sending it, especially to the ALC, pulling their multi-year trends and seeing what was their production like, that February, March of that first quarter compared to, maybe
the year
before the, what was their growth, even in a busy time, what was their growth from that, and circling that and saying, hey, I just wanted to share what your business did after you took bold 2 years ago.
So I would definitely do that. I think you could do it individually for your ALC/top agents. And then I think at a team meeting, though, I mean, you can share the overall stat, because I'm sure it's still, if you had 3/4, like, here's what I know. Bold's not super impactful at the market center level unless you have 20% or more. If you had 3/4 in, I'm sure the results were wild.
make a difference.
So we have to remind people. I bet you, I mean, 2 years have passed. Like, you've got a lot of people in your market center that don't even really know what bold is, or all they know is something they've heard that probably isn't accurate. So I think, yeah, painting the story. And then all I can tell you is I know I already said it. I'm like, every team meeting, every conversation, our bold team meeting on the 10th, like, you guys as leadership, I need you to be like, you got to be your highest side that day. If you're excited, I promise they will be more excited. I mean, you can't literally create their excitement, and yet they might go from to like they will follow your energy. So I know it's hard. I've sat in your seat, and I know there's times where you're in a meeting or with a group of people that are just like full on energy vampiring at the moment, and it's not easy. And yet I can promise you, if you come in hot with great energy and excitement and share things like that, like, be passionate, share what happened from that last fold, I know that we'll be in good shape. Okay. So what I really want to talk about today is super simple. I want to make sure we are set for that. I know the bold team meeting is not for a couple weeks still, and yet I want to make sure we're set for it and we're prepped. And it's like, that is your opportunity. That is shooting fish in a barrel. That is where you get to just pack that room and hit a lot of your momentum. So we'll talk about that. The first thing, though, that I want to talk about are those one-on-one conversations. So let me get my notes out. I'm big, and I know I shared this initially, like, if we need to convert people at step one, we will. Like, don't worry, it's not that I won't do that. Bold is better if we roll into step one with most or all of our registrations and can just have fun and learn and coach, right? So you guys, your goal is 60, and I don't know why I wrote. Yeah, you've got 5 registrations. So for the next 6 weeks until we launch, if you were to get 9 registrations a week, you would hit your goal. That is less than 2 a day. So I know your brain might say, oh gosh, that's a lot, and yet really not that crazy. And again, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm not going to scream at you next week if you haven't had 9. That is not my style. And if you could create 9 between now and when we meet next Tuesday, you will be officially on track to roll into step 1 at goal. And then anybody else we add is gravy. So, I think you have a lot of opportunity. Like, for this first week, ALC is your biggest opportunity. I mean, between the actual ALC members and team members, you could hit that 9 or better in the first week. So I just want you to have, I think simple numbers are helpful. So there's a target. There are 3 of you. That's 3 a week each. Like you guys could all totally do that. You know your people need it. And the way that you're going to get there beyond the meeting today and the team meeting are going to be those one-on-one meetings. And so, and I just want to acknowledge y'all don't think I have dementia. Like I know that I'm repeating things we've already talked about. That's because I like to focus on the most important things and not the minutia. So, because here's what I see happen a lot. I see awesome leaders like you who are also busy and want to be efficient, and I get it. And the bold one-on-one calls sound like, you know, hey, bold's coming. Do you want to take it? And guys, it doesn't work. We have to slow down and we have to have actual care conversations. You know, that's why I sent that email the other day. I'd rather you have less conversations a day and have more powerful ones than have, you know, I talked to 20 people, nobody signed up. Like that's just, it's such an energy killer. So remember, it is, how are you? How's your business? How are your goals? Gosh, if you're at a computer, pull up their numbers so you know if they're up or down year over year. Find their gap. Are they seeing their kids less? Are they not traveling as much as they want? Like find the gap. That's when bold comes up. It will take longer, but it will not take 20 minutes a person. We're talking about 5 to 7 minute calls rather than 2 to 3 minute calls. Like it's not that crazy. So have care conversations. Your culture will thank you for it in the first place. And then on top of that, you'll get better results. So start with those one-on-one conversations. You know, we're at a weird place where we still have a lot of time until we launch, and yet it turns into not much time really quickly. So don't wait to start making those one-on-one calls. So any questions about that on having that type of call and having the one-on-one call, having a care conversation? There are no bad questions.
I don't think so on that.
Okay, cool. So team meeting. So I know we're scheduled. I know we kind of talked about it. I want to make sure that it's set up right. So when we roll into that meeting, you know, you guys will do whatever you need to do right at the front, make any announcements. And then Dawn, that's when you I know they already know about bold, and yet I would still say this is where you announce bold. This is a great time, even if they've already heard it, like share why you're doing it like you just did. Share what happened with the last bold, like get them excited, okay? And then you're going to bring up whoever you're going to have speak for your bold panel. 2 people is plenty, 3 people tops, okay? You do want more than 1. I feel like 1, it kind of falls flat. So 2 is great. Someone who's taken bold before, someone who is going to take this bold. It will zap all the energy in the room if they share a great story and then somebody asks if they're taking this one and they say no. It is a killer. So make sure it's somebody who is signed up or going to sign. Like they can wait till that day to say, I'll do it. Like, I don't care. Like, just make sure they are taking this bold. And we're talking about a really quick panel, you know, with 2 people, 5 minutes, 6 minutes tops. Just ask them a couple questions, have them share their story. What did they get out of bold? What has it done for them? Why are they taking it again? Easy peasy, right? Then you're going to introduce me. I'm going to come in. I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I am going to then, I have a really quick exercise that I do with people. And it is in the vein of uncovering their gaps, right? Like I want them to realize without telling them that life is not perfect. So we're going to go through an exercise. Then I've shared so many different bold stories over the years, and I have found that I can get the most passionate about my own. So I just share my own. I share it fairly quickly just so they can see the opportunity that can happen in the bold room. And then I'm going to close them. And the idea is that you guys should have some prizes for people who sign up that day. And you know, people do different things. I don't know what other stuff you've done before. If you've got like a prize wheel, you can have something there. Otherwise, purple balloons with little pieces of paper stuffed in them. And look, their pass to a prize is they must grab a piece of paper, fill out the registration, hand it back to a leadership person. That's when they get the prize. Okay. FOMO is real. I don't care where you live or what, like FOMO is real. So give them an opportunity. You can use vendors to collect some prizes. They don't all need to be big. A couple of big ones will get people excited. And yet, I mean, goodness, lottery scratchers are fine. A month off of office dues is fine. Free rent for a month is fine. You know, and what I will do is I will offer $400. So however you would like to use that, and then you just have to tell me when we get there who I should be reimbursing or how to do that. But and you can split it however you want. You can give it away as one half scholarship. You can give it away as $400 bills. You could buy something. I don't care. But I was $400 to get you started on that prize wall, prize wheel, whatever it is. And then that's when you guys just have to like, I'll get them fired up. You guys in the room, because I'm not there, will do the heavy lifting. Like, they're going to raise their hands. You're going to get them the piece of paper. You're going to make sure they fill it out. You're going to stop people at the door. I mean, not like literally physically, but like have some fun with it. You know, get people signed up. You know, if Jane's over here signing up and Joe's sitting next to her and you know Joe should be there and you have a good relationship with Joe and he won't get pissed off, like call him out. Like, come on, Joe, you know, like if you guys create that type of a little bit of competitive energy in the room, honestly, if you remind me, I know I have it somewhere. What's your average, like how many people do you expect at a meeting?
Well, we have usually way more people on Zoom than we have in the room. That's our challenge because we're spread out everywhere. Like today
Yeah.
is probably for our team meeting, we had what in the room, like 18 people in the room, but we had probably 45 on Zoom. So that's our challenge.
So we still have some time. So here's a thought. First of all, whatever's in the room, I've seen so many times where we've had 50%. So like literally if you had 18 and we crush it and you have high energy and I don't jack up, which I promise I won't, we could have got 9 of them. Like it's happened so many times. What if your other locations, I mean, we still have time. You've already kind of touted it as a special meeting. What if each location asked people to come in person to their local location? Because you have like physical locations all over the place, right?
No, not really. We have our main office here, but then everybody else, we have a couple agents in a little office, you know, 30 minutes away.
Okay.
Some other, this really doesn't apply to our Wyoming agents because they're not going to drive. If they're going to take it, I need to find out when there's going to be a Bold in Denver. So yeah, we don't really have any other locations. So it's literally online because they're all remote.
Okay. That's fine. So here's my challenge. So, and again, I get it. And yet I'm about unlimited thinking. If you told them there were prizes to win, would a few extra people come in?
Oh, probably.
Even a few. Okay. So let's, again, and I like, God, just hearing what you're saying about the energy and stuff, like I want you guys to have fun too. Guys, let's have some fun. Let's create FOMO around this meeting. We are going to have prizes available. Please come. This is the meeting. You don't like make a big deal out of it. I promise. Here's the deal. It will be a good meeting even if they don't sign up for Bold. So I don't want you to think that people are going to be pissed at you because they drove in and like, we will create enough energy that they will be happy that they were there. So we still have time. So that would be my challenge to you. Like, I totally get that some people are going to be online, and maybe what we can do is anybody who's just on Zoom, you know, you can check at the end of the day and they, you know, they can still be eligible to win one of the prizes as long as they completed the registration, right? And I would also suggest like anybody on leadership, someone should be watching Zoom because people on, typically if there's enough people, there will be people on Zoom that'll say I'm in. That doesn't mean they're going to sign up. So that can be a hit list call right after the meeting. So let's just do it that way. Like I totally get your situation. Let's create as much FOMO and opportunity as possible. Let's get as many people in the room because I would love for that to be a huge boost for you on the 10th. And, you know, by then, realistically, by the end of that meeting, we could be more than halfway towards our goal. And I think that would really give you some energy to carry forward for the second half of the launch. So that's really it. So are there any questions that you guys have? Big ones, small ones, logistical, whatever, like any questions to make sure that we're good over the next week?
The question that I have is, what are some ideas you have done around scholarships? Because we do have, what do we have in our Bold Scholarship Fund right now, Shalisa?
I have $3,200.
Yeah, so that's from our
that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's from our last gold, but we didn't really do like a specific scholarship thing last time necessarily. And so,
So we've got, so I got a couple things for you. So first of all, there's MAP scholarships that they have not dropped the links yet, and yet it should be fairly soon. So there's an opportunity for MAP scholarships, and they are half scholarships. I'm a pretty firm believer in half scholarships with, I'm going to give you guys a caveat. Every once in a while, there's someone in your market center that you know well enough to say like, no, I promise they would participate even if it was free to them. Like I'm open. And yet in general, half scholarships are better. I think they've got to have some skin in the game. So here's the opportunities. There are MAP scholarships available. Once that information comes out, it will be blasted to you guys. It's pretty hard to miss. We make it obnoxious because it's a big thing, right? Some people won't qualify though, because there are some qualifiers on there. So you guys can choose. I mean, you guys raise that money. You can choose what to do with it. I would suggest though, I think half scholarships are the way to go. I'm also absolutely, if we have people at step one, so here's one of my little things I get passionate and a little crazy about. Anybody who doesn't take bold simply because of money, I can't let it happen because that's a cycle. I can't afford it as a cycle. And I lived in that cycle for a long time and I refuse to stand by while other people do. So I'll fight for anybody. So if 3,200 doesn't cover the need in the room, then we will raise money at step one. And I will turn into a Baptist preacher real quick and we will raise money and it will be fine. And we will get all the people in the room. Now, for the second half of the $400, so what happens is they can either come up with it, which a lot of people will do, or they can sign a separate agreement that is a student loan and they can make weekly payments. So there is no reason for somebody to not be able to take this class. Like we have a lot of different opportunities. So you guys have some money that you're sitting on already, which is great. We have the MAP scholarship opportunity, which is wonderful as well. And then we can raise funds in the room if we need to. And I have zero problem doing that. So here would be my something for you to watch out. Like, I'm sure you guys care about your agents. There's no way you'd do your jobs if you didn't. Like, your jobs are crazy. I've had them. Like, it's nuts. I know you care. A lot of people who tell you they can't afford it or they're not going to take it because of the money, if Apple were to announce a new iPhone was coming out tomorrow, they'd be first in line. So now I don't want you to call them out like that. Interrogate when somebody says they don't have the money. You know, I tell people all the time, my first bold, I was in massive debt and I put bold on a credit card, and you can tell me that was stupid or I don't believe it. It was the best debt I ever created. It changed my life. It got me out of debt. It created abundance and wealth. And so, you know, can they really not afford it, or is it just a little bit uncomfortable? And also, when you're having your conversations, be careful, you know, continue to remind people that bold is more of an investment than an expense. And it really is, right? I mean, like if you're going to get thousands of dollars back, and in some cases 6 figures of thousands of dollars back for an $800 investment, that was not an expense, period. So, you know, help people, especially if they've never been to bold. I mean, it's really easy to see that number and it's big. You could go spend $800 on online leads and probably close nothing, or maybe close one deal and then it was a one-time thing. Or you can make a lot of money over a couple of months. And by the way, carry the knowledge and action forward so that you keep making extra money. Like, it just makes so much sense. So I'll do anything to help anybody get into that room. And all I ask is for you guys, because you have the relationships, like, just interrogate when they say, or interrogate sounds awful, just get curious when they tell you they can't afford it, because you guys know as well as I do that that's not always the real reason.
do you have any, like, do you have some of like the questions they ask them on the MAP scholarship one, where we could even put something out there that, you know, we're super excited to be able to offer 3 bold scholarships, 3 half bold scholarships.
Yeah.
And then send out like a Google form where they have to apply for that scholarship, where we can have a sit down with them and, you know, dig a little deeper.
Yeah, so I am I'm gonna message my assistant right now. What I'm just gonna have her do, so here's my disclaimer to you. They haven't changed criteria in a long time. They could. So I'm gonna have her send you August criteria. And then that way, at least you can start preparing, and then you'll know, like, one of it is like, if they've completed bold within a certain amount of time, they're not eligible. So that might be some people that if they're really struggling, that you start earmarking some of that 3,200 for, because you know they're not going to get the MAP scholarships. Let me finish typing this text, because heaven forbid I type and talk, right? My brain doesn't do all those things.
I know we had some people that did the MAP scholarship thing last time. A couple of them, I think, got it. But we didn't really do anything here because we didn't have a scholarship fund. I don't think last time did.
I love that you have a scholarship fund. It's
We did a little
amazing.
bit.
We had a little bit last time, but not like $3,200.
We did. We had
3,200 is enough for a lot of people.
yeah, we had about $1,500 last time, and it was it was mainly who Tim would talk to him, and you know, he was pushing it, and if they said they couldn't afford it, it was a half scholarship, or we gave them the opportunity to pay over time, so it would come out of their invoice monthly for 6 months or however long we did it. And I had 6 people take advantage of that, and then they got a half scholarship on top of it, so it was used. Yeah.
So that's huge too. So, and that's really that, like, obviously that's up to you guys as a market center. If you're willing to offer some sort of payment plan to people, market that, make it, you know, the harder we make it for them to say no, the better the results that we'll have. So I love that idea.
He was really specific
So-
about who we offered that payment plan to, because I didn't want to keep track of everybody and their dog, but if they were one that said it was going to be a hardship, they got the scholarship, and then if it was a harder situation, they got to pay overtime.
Yeah, so maybe the messaging is, as you're talking to people, well, again, your one-on-one calls, you'll find out that, you know, otherwise, just let people know that we are there to help people get into the room. So if finances are a challenge, please let us know. There's always a way. There's always a way. So, all right. If you guys have any questions this week, let me know. Again, please just go to Loving Battle with your ALC. You could get all of your 9 for the next week in the next 24 hours. So let's go do that. Let me know if you need me to come in and assist you with anybody. And then other than that, I appreciate you. And I will talk to you in a week, if not before.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Thank you guys. You're awesome. Thanks.